If you have an LG refrigerator and you're having trouble with your ice maker, we're going to show you how to change one out so you can get that thing working. Follow along. This is Holmeshowdoi. You'll need your serial and your model number. There's a tag inside your refrigerator section that'll have all that. And you'll see also that the model number is on the ice maker as well. I'll show you that later. Alright, to remove this, just spread it apart a little bit and it pops right off. Now this time we had ice in the ice maker, but previous times we wouldn't have any at all. So it was very intermittent. Now you could have done this without taking out the top half of the ice maker. We wasn't 100% sure at first. So we took out the screws. So you got a couple screws up top here. We take those out. And then there's these white screws. There's two on the bottom here. There's one in the back. Get all those out of there and it comes out really easy. You don't need to take off the screws for that little metal clip that churns the ice. It'll come off as part of the unit. Now as you get the screws out and you try to take it all apart, and once again you can take off that top section later. The freezer is going to ding at you a little bit. It's not a big deal. Let it ding. It's not going to shut off or anything. It's just a reminder. Just pull that top section back so you can get to that plug. Now there's a yellow plug that sits behind there, and there's a little tab you'll have to press down and then wiggle it out. It's fairly snug in there, so if you can reach back in there with the screwdriver or something and push down that little tab, and then if you wiggle it just a little bit, it pops out just like that. And then the whole unit comes out pretty clean and easy. Just push that little clip down right there. You'll have to remove that ground wire that's attached to the motor. So once you get that unscrewed, and it comes off really easy, you'll have to take that white clip off. And on ours it's taped. We left the tape on it. Once again, push a little tab down. So push down on this. And it slides right apart. And then you can take out the whole top half of that. It'll just come right out. Now you could have taken the screws off at this point for that. It would make it a little bit easier getting it out of the freezer. So there's the old one. Alright, so we ordered a new one from Amazon. The part number is actually on it, so it makes it easy. We are an Amazon affiliate, so I'll leave a link for this in our descriptions. So if you need that or anything else, check out that link. And just by clicking on the link and going into Amazon, you help the channel out as well. So once you've fished all your wires through, just put those top two screws back in, and that'll hold the ice maker section itself to the base, and that'll get it ready for you to reinstall it. So once we get all this back in, we're going to turn around and get our wires back on and then get it all clipped back together. This really isn't a long video or a long install. It doesn't take you very long to change this out. It really is about a 10-minute job. Minimal tools. Pretty much the only thing I use here is that Phillips head screwdriver, and that'll take care of all of it. You don't have to turn the water off or anything. Just make sure all your connections are snapped together good. Make sure your ground is screwed back in real good. And then we'll put it back in. but it's a very simple install that anybody can do. Just plug this back in. The connector only goes in one way, so you try to wiggle it in. If it's not the right direction, just turn it around. Really, the biggest thing to look for is that that clip is on the top side, and when it snaps together, you're pretty much done. There isn't any wiring, and you can't reverse those plugs. So from that standpoint, it's pretty foolproof. So just put it back up on these lugs. It'll hang there, and that'll allow you to start getting the screws back in it. Now, as one tip, be very careful with these screws. They're plastite screws, and if you over tighten them, you will strip them out. So just, I'm going to say finger tight. It really does need to be very snug because it's hanging on those back lugs, and the rest of these screws are really just keeping it from going anywhere. So just put them in finger tight, because once you're stripped, there really is no way of fixing the threads on that. Now, as part of the install, you'll want to put your wire in there, and that just keeps it so that if it fills up, it shuts off the ice maker. And then for the most part, the install is good to go. What you do is you put your ice bin back in, and then we'll want to put our cover back on, and then let it fill up and see if it's making ice. It should solve your ice making issues. So this has been another edition of Holmeshowdoi. So hopefully you'll enjoy the other videos on the channel. We would appreciate some comments and some suggestions of the things you'd like to see. So I'll leave a link here if you're having issues with your garbage disposal. You can check that out. Or if you need some kind of auto repair, I'll leave a link there as well. So until the next fix or repair or install, this has been another edition of Holmeshowdoi. Thank you for viewing. Please remember to like, subscribe, and share.